All right. So it is June 13th, Tuesday, June 13th. And this is our bi-monthly Team Inspire team call, our lunch and learn. I like these new hours. This is fun. So let's see, it was kind of a big morning for those of us doing Sean Week this week. Like, it was just so funny because I decided I had a little bit of a late start. And so after I went to Ben's kindergarten thing, I came back and I saw that the workout for today was only 29 minutes. So I was like, oh, I'm going to do something else too. On top of that, so short. And then by the time I was messing around with changing clothes and all kinds of stuff, I'm like, oh, I'll just do one thing. And if I need something later, I'll add it or whatever. But I'm so glad that I just did pure cardio too. Was today's workout, and it was tough I felt like for cardio and that kind of thing. So, but it was a lot of fun. So those of you guys that have not yet joined our Sean Week group, we have the 7-day group that we're doing online. And it's just a bunch of us that are just in there, daily logging what we're doing and talking about the week and everything like that, the new workouts from Shanti. So that's really exciting. If we're missing anybody, let us know and we can add you in. I did see a couple people last couple of days that we could put in there that might not already be there. So let me know on that. There is not a ton of new announcements that I can tell you guys. There's, you can go into the back office every day to see those, but for the most part, Heather covers all of the announcements in her newsletter and on her pages. Where, mostly halfway through the month now. So everything that's been going on has, kind of kicked off the beginning. So we've got Sean Week this week. The Shift Shop sneak peek is going to be the 19th, which I don't know when that falls next week. That's got to be Monday, right? Which is very exciting now that I think that's Monday. That'll be a lot of fun. But as far as like challenge pack promotions, we're still running on the Beachbody On Demand All Access. Some of that pricing has changed. You can review that in the back office. Last night, if you're on the Team Dynamite call, we talked about what you can expect from Summit. This is your last week to get a ticket to go. We just talked. Pam just let me know that she is going to be attending this year, so that's super exciting. And I can't wait. You're going to love it. It's just something that you have to experience for sure. So I've never missed one. I struggled and maxed out a credit card to get there my first year too, and it's just a lot of fun. So this is your last week to do that. It's a game changer if you're, interested in working this business and learning and all of that good stuff. It's so worth it to be there. You'll never regret going, that's for sure. So today I really just wanted to talk about getting organized, kind of having a theme for your month and that sort of thing, and ways to just be consistent with that. I have talked about this, in the past, but I feel like since some things have changed and developed over the course of the last, 6 months to a year, that there's some really great things that you can implement and to put in place to be successful and consistent with your business to make and help you have Success Club and success each month. So the number one thing for, being organized as a Beachbody coach in your coaching business is setting business hours. And I just cannot say how crucial this is. You really can't be successful without planning your day and your hours and what that looks like as far as the hours you can devote to Beachbody. And it doesn't have to be 8 hours or 5 hours, or it's whatever you deem appropriate for your business and what you can fit into your daily dynamic. I know a lot of you guys have full-time jobs or you're a full-time mom at home, and I get that. It's a tough balance. I'm pretty lucky now that the kids are in school all day that I have the majority of my day to work my business, but stuff comes up and summer's coming. So that's going to really change for me big time. If I don't want my kids to be on Xbox all day or their iPads, then I have to do something else with them. That's kind of like my mom fail is letting them be on their technology so I can get work done. And that's just not healthy either. So it's a little selfish on my part. So that's going to change come this summer. They're going to do summer camps and things like that, which will be great. And, but that's going to change. So I got to figure out what my new hours are like. I need to adjust my time. That sometimes means sacrifices, and making changes in order to reach your goals. For me, it'll probably mean more nights after bed this summer, because the daytime will hopefully be filled with some time with them. I can probably set some time in the morning to work my business, let them be on their technology for a set amount of time, and then in the afternoons, we're outside or together or whatever. And that's different for every family dynamic, right? So setting your business hours are crucial. I can't stress enough that the easiest thing you can probably do is set yourself a guideline and like literally write down everything that you do all day to try to determine what your hours are, like wake up, make breakfast, take a shower, all these different things that come throughout the day, get the kids on the bus, wash dishes, whatever it is, and the things that you don't need to be present for, you can delegate or change or whatever, right? So for example, for me, we do laundry on the weekends, but my husband is a big helper with that. That's something I don't need to do. I do help with that as well, but he knows how important this business is for me. So we've talked about that, and he does the laundry, folds, puts away, all that good stuff. He helps me with the dishes, those kinds of things, those family things, right? So take a look at what your schedule is like. Can you be, like I say, delegating things to other people, whether it's your family or in your business or your job or whatever, to give yourself some other time. Where can you shift things around? Can you give up TV time? Can you give up, other things that you may be eating up your time, or say these nights I'm going to do TV time, date night, whatever it is, and schedule those things. I'm not saying to give up time with your family 100% or your husband or anything like that, but pick and choose like slots and things in, it's all based on your goals too, whatever your goals are and however you want to reach them. That's kind of things that we need to think about. So setting business hours, number one. And then number two would be having a focused task list. So let's say you only have like an hour a day or 30 minutes a day. What are you going to do in that focused amount of time? You have to be really specific about your actions and your tasks. And so what are those? And how are you tracking that? Are you using the business activity tracker that Beachbody gives us from the back office, or do you have a notebook, or are you using a third-party tool like I am with Teamsy or something to that effect, Streak, Google, or anything like that? For me, I've tried it all. I've been coaching now for 4+ years, right? And so I've tried it all. I've tried different things. I've lost deals and coaches and all kinds of stuff because I haven't been as organized as I'd like over the last few years. I'm finding success right now with Teamsy, as I mentioned, and I'm not saying that's something for everyone. It is a monthly investment, but for me, the return on the investment is huge. So I talk about that a lot. So like I have a pretty chaotic life, and I never really get lost, and I've only been using it probably for like 4 or 5 months, but I can't tell you how much my time management has improved for me personally and how much better I feel at the end of my day. For me, like having a checklist or having things to complete, going to bed feeling satisfied is more important to me than anything else. Knowing that I accomplished what I set out to do, that kind of thing just helps me to be content and at ease and less anxious. So like when the kids come home, like I can work right up until the minute that they jump off the bus. And if I get sidetracked or called away when they come in, I can put my computer down and run up and feed them, do whatever, or they call me for something. Someone's got to go to the bathroom and they need help, whatever. Those of you who have toddlers, you might know what I'm talking about. But I can sit right back down with my computer 5 minutes, an hour later, and pick up right where I left off and see that. I still have to be extremely diligent in writing down what I'm doing and my follow-ups and things like that, but I have a system in place. I actually noticed last week, now that I'm starting to really get through, I have thousands and thousands of contacts in the system, and now I'm starting to really get through, because I've got customers from 2013 when I started, and then as coaches cancel, their customers roll up to me. So I have people that I've never even talked to before. So people are starting to come and roll through my system now. And some of the things that I was noticing this last week was the program was telling me to follow up with a certain person. So I had this probably happen like 6 times, and I went back, and had I not gone back to see that follow-up, because I would actually went back to the person and saw that there was a message that I hadn't read. So they messaged me and I didn't see it for over a week because I had so much going on in my messenger. So had I not had that follow-up system in place to go back and see that, I would never have responded to this person that was interested in my group. So that was huge for me. And that happened like 6 times in the last 2 weeks. So have a system in place is huge. Be diligent about tracking and writing things down. And it really doesn't matter what your system is, but you need to have something in place so that when you have your 30 minutes or your hour of time, that you're focused when you sit down. You know what you're doing. You're sending out your invites first. You're doing all these different things, right, that we need to complete in a day to have a successful business. Keeping a planner, number 3 for me. So I think I showed you guys this before. I have a planner that I use, and it is like, this is my week, but it also does like month too. So at the beginning, there's like a month layout. Whoops. And then each week that goes through too. Bills to pay are in there also. And then I can I have checklists that I scribble during the week of things I need to do, like prepping for our team call, or like I created a Facebook ad yesterday, that kind of stuff. And I write those things in there to remember to do that. Go live if I want to make sure I go live on a certain day of the week or something like that. So having a planner and setting dates and goals and themes for the things that you want to accomplish and being consistent about that. So the biggest part for me is like I do it this part a month in advance. As I get to the end of the month, I start to plan for the next month, because all these things kind of coincide with each other. So I run my free group the first week of the month. Usually July is going to be 4th of July. So I'm actually doing my free group that first full next week. And then I've been consistently doing a preview event, which is just basically like a sneak peek. And Angie and I have actually been talking about making that a trial run into our challenge group. For example, talking about, what's involved and what you can expect in a challenge group, but letting them try Beachbody on demand and sending them Shakeology samples for like 3 or 4 days to let them try it out. So it's kind of like a try before you drive a challenge in that time frame. But being consistent throughout the week, and then having your challenge group be the last thing of the month. I really like to do that prep, like it's like the 3rd or the 4th Monday of the month that we always do that. And that really just works really consistent. And we have a theme going on this month. For June is going to be our Just Do It challenge, and just focusing on people just like, stop hesitating, like just jump in, just do it. What are you waiting for? What's the hesitation? That kind of stuff. So that's the theme happening for June. July is going to be super busy, because we're going to have not only we're going to do our regular challenge group, but the Shift Shop's going to launch. So we're going to do, preview event for that, and prep and all of that good stuff. So it's fun to start thinking about it in advance, because there's really no shortage of things going on, right? And if you're always consistent, then you're always inviting to something. Whether it's your free group, whether it's a business opportunity presentation that Heather is presenting on Team Dynamite, or your challenge group, or the preview event, you always got something to ask. I mean, I'm asking and inviting every single day to something. So that's, something that you should be doing too. And then once you get some of you that are doing the social team builder training, and you get a little bit more acclimated with the Facebook ads and the testing of the video, all the different training that we're going through there, you will learn that you'll start to run ads and things to boost the event. So for example, I just started running an ad today for my preview event that's going to start next week. So I do like a week and a half out when I advertise. So that's just something, so you're always consistent and you have this flow. Every week you're doing something and you know what you're doing, and you look at the week, okay, so now it's this, and I have to remember to do this next week, and you've got it written down, and you've got to focus. And it takes it back to that, what are you doing in your focus time, right? So if you're preparing your time, you know what you're doing, you know what you're inviting to, and then the month is like just flowing and happening, right? And then number 4, is taking action. Like, okay, great. You have all this stuff and you have your lists, but how are you putting that into motion? So you need to make sure that you are taking action. For me, what has really helped over the last few weeks, months, more than a month now, May it started, was doing the daily donuts that we were posting about. And that's basically making sure that you get those hard invites out of the way first thing before anything else. And that has been so key and instrumental to my business and my success in the last few weeks, because not only is my inbox flooded with messages and replies and conversations, but I'm not struggling anymore at the end of the day, leaving that last hard thing at the end. It like takes the practice work out of the picture too. So like I sit down, I do my 5 invites, and then as the day goes on, now those invites aren't so scary and I'm more likely to invite more people, and I end up with like 20 invites by the end of the day, because it's just like second nature now. I'm just so used to asking people, want to come to this, want to come to that. And now it's even becoming second nature to ask people about listening about the business presentation and things like that too. So your daily donuts, right? Your workouts, you're consistently taking action by working out every day, drinking your Shakeology, personal development. That is huge. I always set, when I do my focus time, I'm always putting in those specific daily actions first. Follow-ups, you're posting on your pages, you're checking your messages, you're checking in with customers and coaches and that sort of thing. So you're taking action every single day on all those things. And so if you have a limited amount of time, there's several ways that you can account for that, right? So you know that your workout's going to take X number of time, so you can put that in as far as where that's going to go in your day, right? And you can then say you're going to do either X number of follow-ups, 10 follow-ups, or you're going to spend 15 minutes on follow-ups or 10 minutes on follow-ups, right? And you can set a timer for yourself. So if you only have like 30 to 40 minutes a day, get out your timer, do invites for 10 minutes, whether your goals are numbers or time, that's, your call. I think that if you set time limits, that's going to help you more than numbers. And then as you get acclimated to those time limits, you can say, okay, I'm getting good at this now, right? Now I'm getting 5 invites in 10 minutes. Or maybe I'm getting it in under 10 minutes. Now I can add 6 invites or 7 invites, right? So you think about how that changes over time. I mean, you just get better at it over time, and you get better at it by practicing, just like your workouts, it wasn't easy for the first time, right? And it might have taken you longer. You might have had to pause the workout a bunch of times the first time, but now you're getting right through it quick. You can do a 20-minute workout and you're set, and all of that. So that's kind of mostly what I had today. I guess I wanted to find out from you guys if there was anything specific that you struggled with or you needed help with in any of those categories, as far as being organized, or you struggled to get in your day, or whatever your struggle is. You're struggling with talking to people or inviting people, or what to say or how to say it, or responses or whatever. Anything?
Yeah, Megan, I realized that I was doing really great at first. I had a lot of momentum and I was doing all the right things. And then I kind of got away from it. And then what you said about the planner, before I really did have that stuff written down and I had to check it off. And I need to do that again so that it's going to force me to do it. Because if I don't write it down, just like, your goals, if you don't track them, you're not gonna.
It is. It's just like the containers. It's just like the containers.
Yeah. So I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to make that checklist again and make sure I do those things. One thing I have to get away from is I kind of spit out Beachbody too fast. I need to learn from you and slow down a little bit. It's so hard because I'm so passionate about it, and it's really, really worked for me, and I love it. It's amazing, and it's changed my life. But people think that I'm selling. And I get it, because I've understood that, I see that in other people too. And they don't get that I'm really passionate about it. So I need to try to talk myself into toning that down and use the ideas that you've shown me.
Yeah. And so I feel like I feel the same way too. Like I get really excited I get really excited when somebody is, they want to know more about Shakeology or whatever you just want to so immediately, here's a good example. This week, one of my existing customers said, I have a friend that wants to know more about Beachbody On Demand. And I was like, oh, that's great. So my first thought was to just show him how much it cost because he knew all about Beachbody On Demand, right? But then as I'm starting to think about it, I was like, wait a second, I really got to back this up because I don't know anything about this guy. Yeah, he's interested, but where's his goals? Like, well, how big of a guy is this? Is it like he wants to be a muscle guy? Is he wants to lose weight? Like, where does he struggle? So, it was all set to like vomit all this information on him about Beachbody On Demand. And instead, I just took a step back and I said, I really just got to take him from day one, from square one, how I normally will ask, what's your day? What do you do for a living? Like, what's your day? Are you married? Like all of that stuff. Take them back all the way. I always get with goals. Tell me what your goals are going into the summer. And, where he started off talking to me almost like he was like a know-it-all about what he wanted and needed going to the gym, and he's lost a bunch of weight so far. I found out from him that he was like eating basically next to nothing. I mean, I don't know how he's so energetic. He was saying his energy's through the roof. I can't put my finger on that one because he's eating like really like not a lot of food, mostly fruit. I guess he's on a sugar high, maybe, I guess. But anyways, if I didn't ask him a bunch of questions, then I wouldn't have really been able to, what's the best way to help him, and so always try and think that, put the brakes on. And my first question is, what are your goals right now? What are your goals going to summer? And what's your nutrition like? People are just so all over the place. And maybe, they think that, Shakeology is going to be the answer, but then you find out that they think Shakeology is like, a weight loss supplement or something, and that kind of thing. So always backing people up to get their goals,
Okay. And then another thing, and I'm sure you've dealt with it, is you know how people post, but they don't say your name, and they're like, "Oh, you're trying to sell me something." Should you even respond to that, or just pretend like they aren't talking to you? Maybe they aren't talking to you.
Yeah, maybe they're not talking to you. I think anything like, is it on your wall or their wall?
No, it's on their wall. It could be anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think you definitely don't want to get into any sort of like debate with somebody over something for sure, and if it's like a negative anything, just steer clear for sure, it's hard to kind of bite your tongue sometimes, but yeah, I know what you mean. I just steer clear of, any sort of debate or confrontation about anything,
Yep. Leave it alone. And then eventually they're either not interested, or they'll be like, "Whoa, God, maybe it does work," Right.
Yeah. And I feel like too, the people out there that are giving us grief about, what we're due, or they're seeing that we're like, just like the Lulu leggings people or whatever they think, the staying power is what's going to get them. Because now I have people that come all the time and say, I've been following you for years. I'm ready. I can see that this is a real thing. And like, you're so, you've been at this for so long, and you're such an inspiration that you keep at it. And it's just time with some of those people,
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. Nothing else? Nothing else?
I actually just this is basically toward my my personal account. I see someone went in for the summer sale and they bought a bunch of stuff, and I had bought some stuff in the summer sale. But when I went in, it still says that my personal volume is low. So like I haven't met my personal volume, but I should have for the month, and I don't want to lose my my coaching discount.
So did your Shakeology ship yet?
I postponed my Shakeology because I had a bunch of that. I still have some. So what I did instead was I bought the 3-day refresh. I bought some other stuff from the sale, and I added up, and the points were supposed to be over 90. And then this other person bought a lot of stuff that also should have given me points. But then when I go in there, it says I only have like 20 personal volume points.
I would say that if you don't see things change in the next couple of days, just because it's still midway through the month, you could always chat or call customer service and ask them, because sometimes it doesn't get updated right away. And I know that there's always a delay in seeing points. So I would just chat with them and ask if you're still not seeing it, by the end of the week.
Okay, great.
All right. If nothing else, then thank you. And I'll put this recording up and you guys can watch it at your leisure. And then we'll do our next one in 2 weeks. I think it's on a Tuesday also. It might be like the 27th or something like that. So I'll see you guys then. All right. Bye.
Bye.